Hello everyone, welcome back to the first in Weasels over Syria campaign for the F-16 and DCS world, and welcome to Mission 8, Recon. So the point of this one is we want to start pushing the Syrian integrated air defense further and further south. Problem is that we don't know where all of the air defense is, so we need recon, and the problem there is a large body of cloud has settled over the entirety of Syria, and so we can't get satellite images, so we're going to have to go in the old way with a camera. Now, it is not us that is going in with the camera, we are going to be escorting a pair of British Tornadoes doing that. Our job is to provide them with on-site SEAD protection. So we're going to rendezvous with them. They're also being joined by a pair of F-18s on Growler support for ECM coverage, and we're to fly in close proximity to them and take out any air threats that pop up along the way. For this one, I have a single harm and a pair of Mavericks, as well as the normal pods, jammers, fuel, and so on, and my wingman has a pair of harms. Now this one gets really interesting, so let's jump in and see how it goes.
Sentinel Sword 21 airborne and on mission 1023. Request new words.
Sword 21 Sentinel, all mission elements reporting they are good to go. Sword 1 and Sword 3 are also reporting mission success. You are clear to proceed as planned.
Copy, Sentinel. Sword 21 out. 2 lead. Continue. Just watch your positioning as we push north. We're going to be close to a few threat rings on the way up.
3 lead. A lot of activity near the border. Looks like we had Syrians in the air off to our west as we climbed out.
Rotor, did you hear we've got more Vipers arriving in theater?
Yeah, I heard. The guard unit, the 179th, right?
Yeah, that's right. They found room for them at Incirlik.
Damn. I thought Incirlik was full. We're all the way down here in the middle of nowhere, sweating in the desert, and they get deployed straight into the luxury of Incirlik.
Well, I guess someone somewhere pulled some strings. Probably some senator or something.
I'm joining the guard as soon as I can. Give me some of that high life.
Are you not enjoying your tent anymore, Rotor?
Oh man, for the first few weeks living in a tent in the desert is just great. But you know, I joined the Air Force to see different places and have new experiences. Done the whole desert tent thing now. Time for a change.
Well, hospitality issues aside, at least we're boosting our numbers out here. About time, I think.
Well, more help is always good. But they're not weasels, are they?
No, unfortunately not. Still just the 6 of us.
Plus whatever half-ass job the Navy does with its Hornets. I still don't get why it's only our small detachment. Just the 6 of us for this job still feels light. Especially with the current tempo. I mean, we're 6 weeks into Cerberus North now. There should be more of us.
Agreed, but there must be reasons. We've got squadrons deploying to the Pacific as things get more tense out there. Plus we've got extra deployments on the eastern flank of NATO. Maybe things are stretched then.
Nice if we got the rest of our squadron out here at least.
Boss says the George can't accommodate any more aircraft or personnel at any of their bases.
But there's room for the 179th guys at Incirlik? Man, this is screwed up. Guess the Weasel mission isn't the priority yet.
Just remember, we're the supporting element here. The no-fly zones are the priority.
Which they can't enforce without us.
Anyway, have you noticed all the Jord armor and troops deploying to the border the last few days?
Yeah, me and Ghost were talking about it this morning. Not heard anything from the intel brief. Something going down?
Nothing official, but the boss said the Jords are worried about the SAA causing trouble in the south. They know by now we're being allowed to base down here, so they're flexing a little.
Also got the SIA roaming around north of the border as well. Be nice to think there's an army between them and H4.
To right. Turning northwest for waypoint 3.
Copy, lead. Got a glimpse of Metro Indigo through the clouds. Still burning. Really did a job on it. Things are quieter on the RWR up here now. A lot less search radars up.
Copy that, Rotor. Let's get the lowdown from Vacuum. Switching on uniform. Vacuum, Sword 2-1, request lowdown Sierra.
Sword 2-1, Vacuum, standby, lowdown Sierra. Lowdown Sierra. 1108 intermittently, portal 192 for 102, tight. Doggo awake, portal 185 to 63, loose.
Copy, Vacuum. Hofferney seeing the 11 radiating.
Sword 2-1, we're seeing it pop up pretty randomly, twice in the last hour, but only for a minute or so each time.
Sounds like it has a cautious crew. And that position puts us in range of waypoint 8. Might want to consider being ready if it pops up as we pass through.
Copy 2. Gives us the option of a preemptive shot. Vacuum, can you give us the approximate grid for the 11's location?
Hey, firm, standby. Grid is north 34.0.508, east 036 42.821, elevation 4,300 feet.
Copy, that's north 340.508, east 03642.821, 4,300 feet.
Good read back.
Okay, Vacuum. Thanks for the update. Sword 2 out.
So it looks like the 11 is our main concern at the moment. Are you thinking of putting a harm in the air to cover our ingress?
Possibly. Gotta time it right, though. And if the 11 stays offline, I'll have wasted my harm.
Good bet they know we're coming, though. No doubt that dogger's picked us up. Hope it doesn't come back to fight us.
Well, that's why we're going in, and why we've got Growler support. We can handle it.
We got friendlies at waypoint 4. Must be our package.
Let's check in. Switch uniform for green 2.
Copy. 2 set.
Action 2, Sword 2 approaching RV point.
Sword 2, Action 2-1. Good to have you with us. Ready to proceed?
Glad to be here, Action. We're good to go. Be advised, Vacuum has indications of an SA-11 within range of our southernmost waypoint. If it comes online, we'll handle it.
Copy, Sword 2. We'll give you a 2-minute warning as we approach that point. Just don't get left behind. Spartan 2, ready to push? Spartan 2. Action 2, pushing. Spartan 2, music on.
Sword 2 pushing. Sword 2-2 fence in.
Sword 2-2. Lead 2. SA-8, south side of Homs. I think our flight path will bring us in range. The area is really hot. We should avoid.
Copy 2. Action 2, recommend you offset 2 miles east and keep clear.
Copy, Sword 2. We'll go.
So here we adjust course a little bit just to stay away from that. I do keep an eye on it on the targeting pod just to make sure there are no launches, but nothing comes at us, so we just move on.
Sword 2-1. 2 minutes to SA-11 range.
So here I opt not to preemptively launch since we're not being tracked by anything, so I just keep on my current course.
New contact. SA-11 online, south of waypoint 8.
Now that it is active, I decide to let my wingman fire one off. Meanwhile, I try and get eyes on with the targeting pod.
Sword 2-2, engage SA-11 with harm.
Copy. 2 engaging. Sword 2-2, Magnum. SA-11.
First group I look at is not the SA-11 site, and then look up and see flak bursts ahead.
Taking heavy trip. SA-11 offline. We went down early. I think it shut down.
Action 2 is hit. This is Action 2-2. Action 2-1 is down. Say again, Action 2-1 is down.
Copy Action 2-2. Stand by, I'm calling it in.
So unfortunately there we have lost one of the things we're supposed to be escorting. This is scripted, incidentally, as my way to avoid this. Meanwhile, I am still looking for the SA-11 site, since that is still a major threat, so try and look for that while dialing in the comms.
Sentinel, Sword 2-1. We have an aircraft down in Sierra. Say again, Action 2-1 has gone down in Sierra.
Copy, Sword 2-1. You have a shoot.
Unknown, Sentinel. Action 2-2 called it.
Stand by, Sword. I'm switching to 3-2.
And while that call's going on, I do manage to identify the SA-11 site and lock up the target in the middle of it.
Action 2-2, Sentinel. You have a shoot. It's only one shoot. It looks like he's coming down somewhere close to the MSR southwest of Sadat. Taking fire. Evading. I'm blind. I've lost visual. Sentinel, Action 2-2 is going to set up in a holding pattern overhead and try and raise Action 2-1 on the radio. Copy, Action. Danny being launched as we speak. What do you need? We're pretty vulnerable here. SAM threats and radar-guided AAA to the south. I need Spartan to hold as long as possible and Sword to start clearing threats.
Altitude, counter.
Copy, Action. Spartan 2, what's your playtime? Sentinel, Spartan 2, we can give you 30 more minutes.
Altitude.
Copy, Spartan. Sword 2, you are clear to engage any air defense targets as further Action 2-2's airspace.
Copy, Sentinel. Okay, Sword 2-2, let's get to work. Anchor at waypoint 8, your cover. Sword 2-1
Copy,
rifle.
lead. Primary threat now is the KS-19 battery south of waypoint 8. Spartan should keep the rest of the SAMs off of us.
So although I was really concerned about this SA-11 site and end up launching one of my very few Mavericks at it, it does turn out, looking in the replay, it doesn't have one of its target acquisition radars. The individual TELs do have their own radar sources, but they're much worse and much shorter range, so we probably didn't need to engage these at all. Either way, here I turn back and start hunting for the FC fire control radar. Then looking around, I do manage to find it. We have the rough location from the HTS, which gives me the vague area. Then I just zoom out in black and white mode. It's very easy to see the IR signatures. Turns out this was the thing that I was looking at before. I did actually spot these, didn't notice the fire control radar, I just noticed the trucks. Either way, lock the TGP on the fire control radar in the centre of that, and head in for that as my primary target now. While I'm searching around here, I get a call from my wingman.
SA-11 is back up. We need to put it out of action. It's too close to the search area.
So that's a different SA-11 radar, I keep that in mind, but for now I'm going in and rifle one off at this fire control site.
Sword 2-1 rifle.
Altitude, counter.
As I pull away there, I just give my wingman the order to engage that other SA-11.
Sword 2-2, engage SA-11 with harm.
Copy. 2 engaging. Okay, lead. Fire can is offline. That reduces the AAA threat.
Counter. Chat, flare.
Sword 2-2, Magnum, SA-11.
Counter.
Sword 2-2, Winchester, harm.
Yeah, quite a lot happened there. My wingman fired. The moment after he said the air threat was down, I did take a little hit, nothing too bad though. and then the SA-11 starts really bothering me, so I decide that I'm going to use my remaining harm to throw towards it to help my wingman's shot. So nice and easy to get the lock with the HTS, letting me set up the arm to do its thing, and then I turn in and fire one off.
SA-11 radar offline.
Sentinel, Sword 2, immediate threats are handled. SA-11 and AAA are offline.
Copy, Sword 2-1, hold position and await further instructions.
Counter. Chat
Sword 2-1
flare.
Wilco.
Counter. Chat flare.
Missile in the air. SA-11 and Nasiriyah. Sword 2 defending.
So I do get launched on here, but I'm really not too worried. All I have to do is lose a little bit of altitude and put this ridge between me and the launcher, and I'll be fine.
Through contact, Muddy, south of waypoint 8. Stand by, I'm searching.
My harm smashes into a hill. Turns out in the BDA at the end I did actually get a kill there. Splash damage did take out one of the TEL launchers.
Okay, lead. Looks like we have a column of Syrian armor rolling up from the south. Tally on Gecko at the north end of the column. Armor looks like it's holding position. They're on a secondary road just east of the MSR.
Copy 2. Stand by.
Lead, second SA-8 online. Wait one.
This is starting to get quite bad. 2 SA-8s in the area and I don't have anything left to use on them.
Okay. Second Gecko is around 1 mile south of the column, further along the same road as the convoy.
Copy 2. Sentinel, did you copy? Sword 2-2.
Affirmative, Sword 2-1. That column is going to be a threat to the rescue mission. We'll have our incoming assets beat them back, but first we'll need you to suppress his air defenses. Full package is 10 miles out.
Copy, Sentinel. Sword 2 is engaging. Okay, Rotor. The 2 SA-8s need to go. Let's keep them at arm's distance and pick them off. Make sure you keep as close to Spartan as possible.
Copy.
So I've kind of messed up at this point. I was far too cavalier with my earlier use of missiles, and so I've got nothing left to deal with this new threat. Now, what I end up deciding to do is absolutely ridiculous. I decide that, you know what, very often on this campaign the actual SAM sites aren't active, and so maybe, just maybe, I can try and get guns on from a little bit of range. And so I turn in, which, as you imagine, is not what you want to do with a pair of geckos. And so, sure enough, the inevitable happens as I turn in to attempt to make my little gun run. The 2 SA-8s really start objecting to my presence and just start unleashing hell. I get a lot of missiles fired at me, and unfortunately at this point I have actually run kind of low on chaff and flares, which is not ideal in this situation with being a wild weasel not having enough. Either way, I do manage to evade these, just drag them just enough, and just manage to get them to bleed off their energy so they can't keep up with my maneuvers. Not my best moment.
Both SA-8s still active.
Copy, Sword 2-1. Clear the area and RPG. Strike package will have to handle this.
So have to call RTB there. There's nothing I can do. I was very lucky to survive that. I certainly wouldn't have been lucky if I keep pushing it, so instead RTB, but RTB is not simple this time.
Sword 2-2 check comms for Sentinel in uniform and Sword on Victor. Let's keep the mission pretty clear.
Copy. 2 switching.
Come on, Rotor. We're pushing for home. Good chance we'll be coming back out to support later.
Force, back on you.
All players, Seminole, Syrian air is in plan, in strength. 3 groups. First group, portal 152 for 122. Second group, portal 155 for 142. Third group, portal 175 for 126.
Sentinel, Sword 2-1. That puts a lot of Syrian fighters between us and home. Please advise.
Stand by, Sword 2.
Copy, Sentinel. Standing by.
Sword 2, your round helm is looking heavily contested at this moment. We don't want to risk pushing you through that airspace. Instead, we want you to divert into Intellect, get refueled, rearmed, and then prepare to support the ongoing rescue effort.
Copy, Sentinel. Gonna need some guidance on where we're going.
Well, I have an escort rendezvous with you over Aleppo and bring you in. Stand by for coordinates. North, 3605.800. East, 03708.100. RV at Angel 20, contact details to follow.
Copy, Sentinel. Angels 20 North, 3605.800. East, 03708.100.
Copy all. Sentinel out.
Sounds like this day is about to get a lot longer.
Come on, Rotor. Let's push north for Aleppo.
Oh man, I hope that pilot's gonna be okay. That is not a good place to go down.
No, that area is crawling with Syrians, but at least there's a lot of support overhead, and it'll be dark soon enough.
Until dark, you might have a chance of moving overnight to safer ground, to somewhere it's a bit safer to get a helo link.
But if not, well, I guess we might know what our next mission will be. Sentinel, Sword 2-1 approaching RV Point Aleppo. Please advise.
Sword 2-1, Sentinel. Your escort is Devil 1-1, frequency 260 in uniform.
Copy, Sentinel. Devil 1-1 on 260. Okay, 2. Set 260 on uniform.
Copy.
Devil 1-1, Sword 2-1.
Sword 2-1, Devil 1-1 receiving.
Devil 1, understand you're going to be our escort into Interlic?
Copy that, Sword 2-1. I'll bring you in. My TACAN is 18 X-ray. I'm at Angels 20 over Aleppo. Let me know once you have me and I'll guide you in.
Copy, Devil 1. Stand by. Devil 1-1, Sword 2 is ready.
Okay, Sword 2, keep close. The airspace gets real busy up here. There's a lot of procedures we need to follow coming into and out of both Turkey and Interlic. We're going to proceed northwest from Aleppo at Angels 20, Mach 75 through what's called the Gold Corridor. This is our authorized transit route back to Turkish airspace. I'll handle all the comms with Interlic Rapcon. Interlic TACAN is 21 X-ray. Recommend you lock me up on radar or use data link to get my position. We'll be in the weather soon.
Copy, heading northwest at Angels 20.
So Devil 1 is DMSA 232. And even the Marines got into Interlic ahead of us. There a problem, Sword 2?
No problem, Devil 1. Just my wingman here moaning about his accommodations, again. Think he's fed up with life in the desert.
Okay, Sword 2. Well, things here in Interlic are pretty sweet. Got all the facilities you could want, and Adana is a great place to visit. You ever been out here?
Nope. First time for both of us.
Well, I'm pretty sure it beats whatever you got down at H4. If you get the chance, I'll make sure our Marines show you around.
Appreciate it, Devil 1. But I get the impression we'll be on a quick turnaround.
You're probably right, Sword 2. Sounds like things went south down there.
Yeah, they did. And a column of Syrian armor just placed itself in the middle of the search area. Things are going to be tough on the ground tonight. How long since you deployed to Interlic?
We've been here just over 2 weeks. Feels like forever, though. We've already done a lot in that short space of time.
I know the feeling.
The city ahead of us on the coast is Iskenderun. It was originally founded by Alexander the Great. One of his great battles was fought in the region below us. This area is full of history. Which battle was that? Battle of Issus. Cool. You know your history. One of the pilots in the squadron, he likes to educate us every chance he gets. Okay, Sword 2, we're clear of the Gold Corridor. We've been cleared into Interlic via the 331 corridor, descending to Angels 15 and coming left.
Copy. Angels 1-5.
Once our feet dry, I'll turn us onto heading 331 and start to descend for Point Eagle, which is 10 miles from Interlic on the 230 radio. We're feet dry, coming right for approach 331, descending to 3,000 feet AGL at Point Eagle. Switch Victor radio for tower on 128.2.
Victor for 128.2, Sword 2-1.
Yeah, come in for a landing at a different airfield, but it's a nice and easy landing compared to the short ones that I've been doing previously. And so, yeah, bit of a mixed bag of a mission there, that we managed to complete an objective, but we did manage to lose the plane that we were meant to be escorting. That was scripted. What wasn't scripted was me losing all of my ammo, wasting it on things I didn't need to be engaging. So I did actually manage to get 2 SA-11s there, one with the Maverick, one with the Harm. And I did manage to do what I was supposed to do and take out the fire control battery, but then we were really, really out of ammo when it came to the actual final target there. So I think if I was going to do this one again, what I'd do is not launch at all on the first detected SA-11 site. I don't think that's a threat because it doesn't have its radar, its target acquisition radar. Save one of my wingman's missiles for the SA-11 site at the airbase, which is a threat. Probably try and use one of my harms on the fire control radar. That way I'd have 2 left over for the SA-8s, and hopefully that way they'd also have a spare harm for the other SA-8s, just in case we need that as well. So yeah, that was definitely a tricky mission. Very unexpected turn. I thought it was just going to be an escort through. Interesting to have it all thrown up in the air like that. And so looks like the next mission is going to be supporting the rescue effort. So I hope you join me for that one. And until then, remember to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers.